Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 77 of Cameron Sports Podcast. It's your host here, Cameron Lindsay, back with another episode. Today's episode, I'm going to be making my predictions for the NFC AFC Championship game of the 2024-25 NFL playoffs. We got the Commanders versus the Eagles, NFC East rivals. And in the AFC Championship game, we got the Buffalo Bills taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. If you watched my last episode, I said I would be shocked if the Commanders beat the Lions, and I was very well shocked. They pretty much dominated the Lions, and they made Jared Goff and them turn the ball over 5 times. Jared Goff threw like 3-4 interceptions. Jaden Daniels looked amazing. They couldn't stop their offense. Terry McLaurin looked amazing. Austin Eckler, everybody. And even though the Commanders' defense is not really known to be elite, but they caused turnovers. Detroit was moving the ball, but once they would get to the red zone, Jared Goff threw a couple key interceptions, and I was very shocked about that. The Bills beating the Ravens, like I said, I wasn't shocked about that. I did pick the Ravens to beat the Bills. Came close, but turnovers, 2 turnovers by Lamar. 1 pick, 1 fumble. Mark Andrews fumbled. He dropped a 2-point conversion. Now, I know he's going through it, and I'm not going to put all the blame on Lamar and Mark Andrews, but I'm going to put partially on each one of them. I think Lamar deserves some blame, even though I think he should win MVP. I'm going to make my prediction for the NFL honors around Super Bowl, but I think Lamar deserves some blame. Mark Andrews got to take accountability. I think John Harbaugh also has to take accountability for the loss in Buffalo. And they was running the ball pretty well with Derrick Henry. I think they should have continued to run the ball. He had over 10 carries for 86 yards. But again, another year in the playoffs where they run the ball effectively during the regular season. They stopped doing it in the playoffs, and it cost them. Key turnovers leads to losses. They did it last year against Kansas City. Now this year against Buffalo. And like I said, I'm not going to put it all on Lamar. I'm not going to put it all on Mark Andrews, but I think each one of them does deserve some type of blame. Because like I said, you turn the ball over, you're going to lose the game 9 times out of 10, no matter who you play. As far as Kansas City playing Houston last week, I knew that was going to happen. I knew they was going to win that game. Like I said, it's hard to play in Kansas City, even though I can't stand the Chiefs. But Mahomes and them just know how to win. Especially with Andy Reid. You got Travis Kelce, that elite defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo. You got Chris Jones. You got all-pro corner and Trey. Forgot his name. I'll remember it later. But you got Eric Reid at safety. So they got an elite defense with, even though their offense has not been really the best as it usually been, but you still got some weapons. DeAndre Hopkins, I know he's not the same as it used to be. You do got Isaiah Pacheco back healthy. You still got Nicole Hartman. I know they did lose Rashid Rice, so he's out for the season. But you still got Travis Kelce, and I feel like with him, you definitely got a chance. With Travis Kelce and Mahomes, you for sure got a chance, as long as the 2 is on that roster. And of course, Andy Reid is their head coach. So yeah. And during the season, I was just pretty much I said off camera multiple times, I really think the Chiefs might just end up winning the Super Bowl. I hate to say it. And I just can't stand them, but they just might. And to be honest, I think the only way 2 teams that can possibly beat them that's left in the playoffs are the Eagles and the Bills. I just think if the Commanders beat the Eagles, it might end up being a lopsided Super Bowl. I'm not going to lie. I know Jaden Daniels has been playing phenomenal, especially for a rookie. But if you're going to get somebody like Mahomes, who's a veteran, who's a 3-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time NFL MVP, you got Steve Spagnuolo, who's arguably the best defensive coordinator in the whole NFL. You got Chris Jones, who's the best defensive tackle. You got Travis Kelce, even though he's older, still arguably a top 5 tight end in the NFL. So yeah, but we'll see. But let's get into my predictions. Starting with the NFC Championship game, that'll be this Sunday at 3 o'clock. And this will be the third time the Eagles and Commanders have matched up against each other. The first matchup coming in Week 11 at home, where the Eagles defeated the Commanders 26-18. In that game, Jalen Hurts went 18 of 28 for 221 yards. Saquon had 26 carries for 126 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jaden Daniels went 22 of 32 for 191 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. So the Eagles got that win at home. It was a pretty good game. Like I said, Eagles ended up winning that game thanks to Saquon running the ball very effectively for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts threw the ball pretty well. Like I said, 18 and 28 for over 200 yards. Now in the second game, this was Week 16 later on in the season, towards the end of the season, regular season. Commanders defeated the Eagles 36-33 at home, Week 16. Now that game, the Eagles were up by double digits, but the Commanders ended up making a comeback. In that game, also, Jalen Hurts got injured in the first quarter. He had a concussion. He was ruled out for the rest of the game. So backup quarterback Kenny Pickett came in. And in that game, Saquon went 29 carries for 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. A.J. Brown, even without Jalen Hurts, had 8 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown. Jaden Daniels, who played even better than the first meeting, went 24-39, 258 yards, 5 touchdown passes, and 2 picks. So each team split the season series, division rivals, 1-1. This is, like I said, this is the third meeting. Now, honestly, I think this will be a good game, especially because they're division rivals in the NFC East. It's hard to beat a division rival multiple times, especially when you met twice already in the regular season. And I do give the Commanders a legit shot because Jaden Daniels went on the road and beat Tampa. Tampa did cost themselves that game because that turnover at the end set up the Commanders in real good field position. They ended up scoring a touchdown. And, Tampa did go straight down the field and kick a field goal, but that gave time for Jaden Daniels to march down the field, led a game-winning drive. This season alone, Jaden Daniels has 5 game-winning drives. He dominated a Detroit team. And Detroit, even though they were banged up on defense, but that's still a very good Detroit Lions team led by Dan Campbell. He went on the road and beat Detroit. So he's no joke. He had a decent game in Philly when he was on during the regular season in Week 11. Like I said, 22 of 32, 191 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. And like I said, it's not easy to play in Philly. It's definitely not. I think the key for Philly is they cannot let Jaden Daniels run the ball. Will he use his legs? They're going to have to stop Commanders' run. They're going to have to stop Terry McLaurin, which won't be easy because Terry McLaurin is arguably a top 10 receiver. Very underrated. I ain't gonna lie, I'm tired of the disrespect that he's kind of getting lately. I've been seeing from other podcasts. But Terry McLaurin is arguably a top 10. He's definitely top 12 at least. And as far as I've been seeing some hate on Jalen Hurts, watching shows like Speak or First Take, and I love watching those shows because that's what I want to be one day on TV. But people acting like Jalen Hurts cannot throw the football. I know I said on camera, I don't think he's an elite quarterback, but he's a good, decent quarterback. You don't have to be elite to win. Look at the Baltimore Ravens, 2000 Ravens. Trent Dilfer was an elite. They won. The 2002 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they didn't have an elite quarterback in Brad Johnson. They won. Joe Flacco for the Baltimore Ravens, he was really never considered elite. In the postseason, yeah, but regular season he was like good, but not elite. So there's plenty of teams where you can, even Tom Brady, when he first won his first 3 Super Bowls, he wasn't that elite in those games. Especially the first Super Bowl against the Rams, the greatest show on turf. He played decent enough to lead a game-winning drive. That defense played amazing, shutting down Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt. That Patriots defense shut down that Rams offense. Only held them to 17 points. So, and this Eagles defense has a lot of talent. You got Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith. I know N'Kobe Dean's out. You had Cooper DeJean. You got Cooper DeJean. You got Quinshawn Mitchell. Even though I know potentially Quinshawn Mitchell, the rookie out of Toledo, is probably not going to play in this game because he got hurt. But you got a young elite talent, Georgia talent, with mixed with some Iowa, Toledo. You got Darius Slay. He may be older, but he's a veteran and still a very good corner. So that Eagles defense is elite. They got elite weapons. A.J. Brown, number one receiver. They got another number one receiver in Devontae Smith. They got Dallas Goedert. They got I forgot his name. Clint Calcaterra. They got more weapons on that Eagles offense. And now they got Saquon, who's arguably their best player. Pretty much their best player. So, and both meetings, Saquon has rushed over for 100 yards and has had 2 touchdowns. So, if you're a betting man and you're prize picks, I will pick Saquon for over 100 yards. I'll pick him for at least a touchdown or 2. Pick that, because I think Saquon is the key, and I don't think the Commanders can stop Saquon. Based off of these 2 games, like I said, Saquon, in the first game, he had 26 carries for 126 yards, 2 touchdowns. Week 16, he had 29 carries for 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. So in this game, pretty much say with these 2 games of regular season, that Saquon is going to have at least about 30 carries. He's going to have over 150, over 130 yards, and he's going to probably have at least 2 touchdowns. And I know Stephen A. Smith and them have said Jalen Hurts has not been throwing the ball well. That second meeting, he didn't even play. He got hurt. He got concussed. The first meeting, he threw over 200 yards. He didn't throw a pick. He didn't turn the ball over. He was 18 of 28, 221. That's it. I feel like if Jalen Hurts can have a game like he did the first meeting, if he went for 18 of 28, 200 yards, let's say 1 touchdown, whether it's on the air or on the ground, I will take that from the Eagles. Now, A.J. Brown's going to have a better game than he's been having lately. Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. But that all depends on Jalen Hurts. Because I feel like he doesn't need to take sacks that he doesn't need to take. When I was watching that Rams game, he was taking sacks by Jared Verse, Brandon Fisk. And even in the Packers game, the Eagles' offensive line is elite, but Jalen, you got to learn when to throw the ball away. Don't take a sack. I know you're not trying to turn the ball over, but don't take a sack. It's going to push your team out of field goal range. That's going to make 3rd and longs longer. No. But the key to this game is the Eagles continue to run the ball with Saquon. If the Eagles win the Super Bowl, Saquon is going to be my Super Bowl MVP. I think he definitely is going to get it if the Eagles win the Super Bowl. Now, of course, they can't take Jaden Daniel lightly. They can't take Terry McLaurin lightly. Austin Eckler, Brian Robinson. This will be a close game between 2 division rivals, even in Philly. Because like I said, it was 26-18, so it was a close game even in Philly. But I give the edge to the Eagles being at home. The Eagles know how to win. I think their defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, I think that's his name, Vic Fangio. He's going to dial up something for Jaden Daniels. He's going to take those 2 games. He's going to come up with a game plan. Like I said, the Eagles, watching that game against the Rams, I was nervous. I said on Facebook, this game is over because the Eagles, Saquon had a long touchdown run. The Eagles ended up going up 27 to 20-something. I'm like, okay, this game's over. Nope. Rams went down and scored real quick. They stopped the Eagles, got the ball back with about a minute and so left, a little bit over a minute, and they started driving down the field. But guess what? Defensive tackle Jalen Carter out of Georgia ended up coming with some key stop. He had a big sack. He had another big pressure on Matthew Stafford that ended up throwing an incomplete pass on 4th down and having a turnover on downs. I think he's going to have wreak havoc because I don't trust that Commanders' offensive line. I think Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith's been playing very well in the playoffs. He's had a couple sacks also with Jalen Carter. You also got Josh Sweat on that defensive line. I know you also got Bond, a linebacker. I know Nakobe Dean's out. I know it's going to be hard with Quinyon Mitchell potentially being out. I don't know his status yet. So by the time you see this episode, he could be ruled out. He could be ready to play. I think that's going to be hard because he's up for Defensive Rookie of the Year. The Eagles got some couple key injuries on the corner position. So if I was the Eagles, I'll put Darius Slay on Terry McLaurin. Put your best corner on their best receiver. That's what I would do. But I'm going to Eagles. I trust them, especially at home. I trust Jalen Hurts to do enough. He doesn't have to be elite, but he can't turn the ball over. Because you turn the ball over against the Commanders, and the way they've been playing, they go for it on fourth down, you're going to be in trouble. I really do. Especially like that second meeting when Jaden Daniels, he led a game-winning drive, beating the Eagles 36-33 at home. But this game's in Philly. That Philly fan base, the Eagles defense, this is going to be a good game, but I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to say Eagles, something like the first meeting, but I'm going to go Eagles 27, Commanders 23. I'm going to say 27-23. 30-23 Eagles over the Commanders. I think the Eagles get the win and go back to the Super Bowl. Yeah. Now let's get to the AFC Championship game. This will be also Sunday, 6:30 p.m. between the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Bills and the Chiefs both played each other during the regular season. That was Week 11 in Buffalo. The Bills defeated the Chiefs 30-21 in that game. Patrick Mahomes went 23 of 33, 196 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Josh Allen went 27 of 40, 262 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He also had 12 carries for 55 yards and 1 touchdown. Now, here's the thing: the Bills have been pretty good against the Chiefs in the regular season. And yes, the regular season does matter, but compared to the playoffs, it doesn't matter the most. And with that being said, Josh Allen's record in the regular season against Mahomes is 4-1. So he has a winning record against Mahomes in the regular season. It's just in the playoffs, he has never beat Mahomes. Mahomes is 3-0 in the playoffs against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And yes, a couple times he has gotten close. But close ain't good enough against the Chiefs. Because Mahomes even when Mahomes does not play his best ball, he knows when to turn it up when it matters most. Andy Reid and Mahomes know when to win when it matters most. I know the Chiefs have gotten lucky with the calls by the refs. But me and a coworker today at work talking, he asked me, Cam, what do you think the Bills got to do, or what do you think teams got to do to beat the Chiefs? What do you think it is? To be honest, I said you have to pretty much dominate the Chiefs in a way. You're gonna have to take it out the refs' hands. You got to, take it out the refs' hands to where, okay, cool, you're up. Let's say you're up 26-14 with 3-4 minutes left. You're up 26-14. Okay, that right there. But if you're up only 23-21, 3 minutes left, and you can't see that has the ball back, 2-3 minutes left, you can't see got the ball back, that's not good. You're going to have to at least be up by almost 2 touchdowns to beat the Chiefs. I was watching Speak today as I'm recording this episode. Before I recorded this episode, I was watching Speak. Even Keyshawn Johnson said, you have to get points. I know Paul Pierce also said you got to take chances. So if it's 4th and 2, you might have to go for it. I agree, but only to an extent where if you're by the midfield, let's say you're at the 50-yard line, you're on your side of the field, but you're near the 50-yard line, like the 47-yard line. It's 4th and 1 or 4th and 2. The Chiefs are up 3-0 or 7-0. Let's say they up 7-0. They just went down and they scored their first drive. 4th and 2 by midfield, I can see you going for it, but like Keyshawn said, it does have its bad side. If you don't convert that 4th and 2, you get Patrick Mahomes that football with short field advantage, you're in trouble. He's going to come up with points. That Buffalo Bills defense played well against the Ravens, but at the same time, Lamar gave them Bills the turnover, the fumble, the interception. Mark Andrews dropped a 2-point conversion. This is different. This is not at home against the Ravens. This is on the road against Kansas City. You turn the ball over there, that stadium's going to get loud. Just like Keyshawn said, they're going to get loud. They're not going to stop. They're going to continue to be loud. So, to an extent, I say you do have to go for it, but not near. Don't go for a 4th and 2 if you're at your 25-yard line or 30-yard line. go for it when you're near midfield or a little bit past midfield. Let's say you're on the Kansas City. If you're at the Kansas City 42, it's 4th and 2. Okay, you're on their side of the field. It's 4th and 2. Even though if you don't get it, they still got good position. But I feel like it'd be more comfortable than going for it. But like Keyshawn said, take the points. If they're up 7-0, you might have to take the points. You don't want to drive coming up empty-handed with no points at all. And I know Josh Allen is having an MVP caliber season. I think my vote probably be Lamar. I'll talk about that near the Super Bowl. But I won't have no problem Josh Allen winning the MVP. He deserves it. He's been balling out very well. His turnovers are way down than usual. He's been balling. Even without Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, he's been balling. He had even receivers like a rookie receiver like from Florida State and Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel, Shakir, James Cook, and Dalton Kincaid, all in them boys, and Dawson Knox. Josh Allen has been balling, and I got to give it to him. If he wins MVP, I won't have no problem with it. But that's the regular season. This is the playoffs, and as much as it kills me. With that being said, I'm gonna have to go Kansas City. Don't get me wrong, I'm gonna be rooting for the Bills. I told my future father-in-law, I'm gonna be shout out to Mr. White that I hope the Bills do beat the Chiefs. But I'm a journalist at the same time, and I gotta be real. I can't just go based off my feelings all the time. But I just gotta go with the Chiefs because Mahomes know how to win in clutch situations, no matter how bad he plays. If Josh Allen, I kid you not, if Josh Allen plays the way he did against Baltimore, he barely threw over 100 yards. If you do that, you can't do that against Kansas City. He's going to have to throw for 200-something, maybe 2 touchdowns, whether it's on the ground or through the air. That Bills defense is going to play like they did against Baltimore. But until I see it, I'm a type of person, I'm a believer when I see it. When the Bills beat the Chiefs at least one time in the playoffs, then I'm like, okay. Like, Joe Burrow has done it multiple times, beating the Kansas City in playoffs. He's beating the Kansas City Chiefs in the regular season and the playoffs. So, if this was the Bengals playing the Chiefs, then I could go Bengals. But Buffalo has never beaten the Chiefs in the playoffs since Mahomes has been the starter. Since Josh Allen has been the starter. They has never beaten the Chiefs in the playoffs, especially at home in Kansas City. But I think it's going to be a close game. You know, it usually always is a close game. I'm going to go Kansas City 26. I'm going to go Buffalo 20. I just think that with that defense with Chris Jones, that elite secondary, Steve Spagnuolo, that defense, he's arguably the best defensive coordinator in football. Andy Reid, the best NFL head coach in football. Patrick Mahomes, best quarterback, best player. I just think that even though their offense is not explosive as it used to be, I think they know how to win. They know how to save their best football when it matters most. And I think we're going to have a rematch from a couple years ago between the Eagles and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I think that'll make another great game. The last time they played, it was a great game. I think this will be also a great game too. And I know last week I went 2-2. I was wrong about the Commanders and Lions. I was wrong about the Bills and the Ravens, but I was right about the Chiefs and Texans, and I was right about the Eagles and Rams. And I'll say with both these picks, I'm confident. 9 out of 10 for the Chiefs, and I'm gonna say an 8.5 for the Eagles and Commanders because I do respect what Jaden Daniels has done, but I respect what Jalen Hurts has done too. I respect the Eagles defense, that home field advantage. Nick Sirianni knows how to win already. He's been to the Super Bowl. He's played an NFC Championship game already, so he knows what it takes. I mean, don't get me wrong, Dan Quinn does too. He's been to a Super Bowl, so he knows what it takes. But he has a younger team. He has a younger quarterback. So I'm taking the Eagles, like I said, 30-23. And Chiefs 26-20. I'm gonna say a rematch from the Super Bowl, but I'm gonna be rooting for the Bills. Please, this will be the one pick I hope I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong because I can't stand Kansas City. As you see, I'm a Chargers fan. Got my Chargers hat, my hoodie, bolt up, regardless, even though we got beat up in the first round. But I'm proud of my team. But that's not about them right now. This is about Commanders, Eagles, Bills, Chiefs. And I look forward to 2 great NFC AFC Championship games. I look forward to hopefully a great Super Bowl. Like I say, if it's Commanders Chiefs, I just don't think it'd be that good. I told a coworker that because a rookie quarterback going against Mahomes, Steve Spagnuolo. Yeah, I think at some point, don't get me wrong, when you're competing for a championship, whether it's NBA, MLB, NFL, you need a little luck. And I think it's something like against Tampa. Technically, I think Tampa should have won that game if it wasn't for one turnover on their own side of the field near their end zone. Tampa probably would have won that game. So yeah, but I'm gonna go Eagles. I feel comfortable about that. Chiefs, I feel comfortable, but I'll be rooting for the Bills wholeheartedly. Text my father-in-law about it. Pray that the Bills win because I don't want to see the Chiefs go win a 3-peat. I really don't. I know some people think it's good for football because it's never been done before, a 3-peat. The Patriots kind of did it, but they won 3 out of 4. They never won 3 in a row. And those Patriots were the last team to win back-to-back before the Chiefs, but they never won 3-peated. So, but let me know what y'all think in the comments. Who y'all picked for the NFC Championship game? Commanders, Eagles, Sunday 3 o'clock. Bills, Chiefs, Sunday 6:30 p.m. Who are y'all picks for the Super Bowl? Who you got winning the Super Bowl? I'm gonna wait for that episode. I'm gonna try to have a guest or 2 on my show to make my predictions for the Super Bowl. But yeah, I look forward to it. I really do. But like I said, I have my reasons for these picks. I don't go based off my heart. I go based off of stats, games, what have you done for me lately? Maybe the past a little bit, but yeah, but I also do appreciate each one of y'all to always tuning in for my episodes. I appreciate that more than anything, and I'm gonna catch y'all next time for another episode of Cameron Sports Podcast. And I'm signing out. Y'all take care.